Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Thank you for being here. Yesterday, I was reading from Neville Goddard's Power of Awareness, the first chapter on I am, and the second chapter on consciousness. It is only by a change of your consciousness, by actually changing your concept of yourself, that you can build more stately mansions, the manifestation of higher and higher concepts. So that takes being aware, practicing, changing who you say you are, changing what you do, changing your concept of yourself. You are God's greatest creation. I think it's time that we start acting like that, choosing to think better thoughts, choosing to do better, choosing to focus on what we want rather than settling, and what we want rather than trying to push away what we don't want. Did you ever notice that when you try to push away, what you're trying to push away gets bigger, it gets stronger? It's like when you're building muscles and you're doing push-ups, you're actually building up muscles. So when you're trying to push away, trying to force out of your life something that you don't want, it actually just appears bigger in your life. You're giving strength, you're giving power, you're giving control to what you don't want. How much easier to admit that you are created in God's image and you are powerful and your thoughts are powerful and your thoughts are energy. Your thoughts are going out into the universe and they are attracting back to you everything that you are in harmony with, whether it's good or bad or indifferent. So if you're focused on what you don't want, you really see more evidence build up, show up. It's no coincidence. You're focusing on what you don't want, so you see more of it. It is really important to calm your mind and get focused in the direction of what you do want, of the love, the peace, the joy, the wealth, the respect, every good coming to you when you focus on what that looks like, what that means to you, how you'll feel when that is your life. How will you feel once you've attained your goal, reached the summit that you're climbing what seems like endless mountains to try and get to wealth or love or prosperity, happiness? Just settle in and think of what that looks like to you. It's different for each person, so it doesn't matter if you're looking for more material objects, if you think you'll be happier with a bigger house, a nicer car, more food in the cupboard, or if you will be happier when you have a different job and you're earning more money, when you think you're happy when you're in love. The trick is to feel what you're going to feel. Feel the happiness, feel the joy, feel the love and the peace and the calm. Feel worthy, and then everything that matches that will come into your experience. Let's take a deep breath in and settle down your body. Get comfortable. Take another deep breath in. What does happiness feel like? Think back to a time in your life that you were truly free to be who you wanted to be, happy and joyful, playing, and the world was so beautiful and happy and wondrous. I'm going to read from Neville Goddard's The Power of Awareness, Chapter 3, The Power of Assumption. Neville says, man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. All that befalls a man, all that is done by him, all that comes from him happens as a result of his state of consciousness. So everything you're thinking, everything that comes to you, everything that you do, all your thoughts, feelings, actions, and results all come from your state of conscious awareness. A man's consciousness is all that he thinks and desires and loves, all that he believes is true and consents to. That is why a change of consciousness is necessary before you can change your outer world. So if you believe the world is a dark, evil, scary place, that's what is going to be in your conscious awareness. That's what you consent to. That's what you accept as true. And it becomes true. It is true for you. But someone who believes that the world is beautiful and wondrous, joyful, and there is good in everything, and they look for the good in everything, that's what they see, that's what they experience. A change of consciousness is necessary before you can change your outer world. Neville says rain falls as a result of a change in the temperature in the higher regions of the atmosphere. So, in like manner, a change of circumstance happens as a result of a change in your state of consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. To be transformed, the whole basis of your thoughts must change. But your thoughts cannot change unless you have new ideas, for you think from your ideas. All transformation begins with an intense, burning desire to be transformed. The first step in the renewing of the mind is desire. What is it that you truly want? You must want to be different before you can begin to change yourself. Then you must make your future dream a present fact. You do this by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. By desiring to be other than what you are, you can create an ideal of the person you want to be and assume that you already are that person. If this assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is inevitable. Well, think back to a time when you were a child and you felt, you believed, you assumed that you were not as good as the other kids, or that you didn't fit in, or that you wanted to look like someone else or be like someone else. We're kind of trained to conform to society and be like everyone else, but you are a unique individual representation of the I am, of God's Spirit flowing to and through each one of us. And each person has unique capabilities and talents and abilities. And you want different things. What you want is your individual expression of spirit flowing to and through you. It's going to be different than everyone else because you're unique and different. But if you've already let go of that gawky teenager or the little kid that felt bullied or insignificant, you've grown and changed, and you're continuing to grow and change. Where you are now is just the starting point for the rest of your life. And the old past version of you is gone. The past is a story, but it continues to play out in your future when you keep telling the old story. If you want to change your future, you have to tell a different story. You have to tell yourself that you are powerful, that you really are worthy of everything that you want. It's not greedy, it is the spiritual side of you wanting to experience more life. Neville says you must make your future dream a present fact by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. What does it feel like now that you are healthy, happy, respected, abundantly blessed? What are you passionate about? Don't hide it. By desiring to be other than you are, by being a greater version than you are today, you can create an ideal, the best version of yourself, the person you want to be, and assume that you already are that person. If this assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is inevitable. The ideal you hope to achieve is always ready for an incarnation, but unless you yourself offer it human parentage, it is incapable of birth. That reminds me, Bob Proctor was one of the greatest personal and prosperity teachers in the world, and he would say, the idea that you hold in your mind, you must give it human form. You must bring it into physical reality. And if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. If you can see it in your mind, that means it's up to you to bring it into physical reality. And he would say, most people's ideas remain stillborn. I was shocked when he said that, but he used to study Neville Goddard like a scientist. And Neville says, the ideal you hope to achieve is always ready for an incarnation, but unless you yourself offer it human parentage, it is incapable of birth. You have the idea. It's like you've planted a seed, or you're carrying a child, a baby, it's not fully developed. And a baby is not fully developed until it's ready for birth after 9 months. We don't know how long it's going to take for your dream goal to become a reality. There's a difference when you plant a carrot seed or an acorn. The rates of growth are different. What you want to bring into your physical experience is like a seed, like a fetus. You have to nurture it. You have to take care of it. You have to focus on it, giving loving attention to your goal. What does it look like? Getting clearer and clearer. The more you think about it, the more you dream about it, the more you turn your conscious awareness to, is this what I really want? What will I be feeling? And then pretend in your mind, what does it feel like? Get that in, flooding into every cell of your being. And through repetition of thinking about it and feeling about it, getting emotionally involved, you start to get new ideas. And as you take action, you start to get a plan and you start to move forward. And pretty soon that idea becomes a physical reality. Sometimes it happens overnight, sometimes it happens in an expected period of time, like a month or a year. And sometimes you start living it, you start feeling as if it's already here, and it shows up without fanfare. You just become that person. And then the outside world notices. Neville says, your attitude should be one in which, having desired to express a higher state, you alone accept the task of incarnating this new and greater value of yourself. I can't tell you who you are or how to act. It's inside you. What is that new and greater version of yourself? How are you feeling now that you're living your ideal life? In giving birth to your ideal, you must bear in mind that the methods of mental and spiritual knowledge are entirely different. This is a point that is truly understood by probably not more than one person in a million. You know a thing mentally by looking at it from the outside, by comparing it with other things, by analyzing it and defining it. But you can know a thing spiritually only by becoming it. You must be the thing itself and not merely talk about it or look at it. Neville says you must be like the moth in search of his idol, the flame, who, spurred with true desire, plunging at once into the sacred fire, folded his wings within till he became one color and one substance with the flame. He only knew the flame who in it burned, and only he could tell who never to tell returned. Just as the moth in his desire to know the flame was willing to destroy himself, so must you, in becoming a new person, be willing to die to your present self. And certainly the past, let the past die off. Bob Proctor would say, let the dead bury the dead. The past is past. What you do now dictates what shows up in your future. You must be conscious of being healthy if you are to know what health is. You must be conscious of being secure if you are to know what security is. Neville goes on to say, therefore, to incarnate a new and greater value of yourself, you must assume that you already are what you want to be, and then live by faith in this assumption, which is not yet incarnate in the body of your life, but in confidence that this new value or state of consciousness will become incarnated through your absolute fidelity to the assumption that you are that which you desire to be. You are that which you desire to be. This is what wholeness means, what integrity means. It means submission of the whole self to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, in certainty that that new state of consciousness is the renewing of mind which transforms. There is no order in nature corresponding to this willing submission of the self to the ideal beyond the self. Therefore, it is the height of folly to expect the incarnation of a new and greater concept of self to come about by natural evolutionary process. That which requires a state of consciousness to produce its effect obviously cannot be affected without such a state of consciousness. And in your ability to assume the feeling of a greater life, to assume a new concept of yourself, you possess what the rest of nature does not possess. You possess imagination, the instrument by which you create your world. Your imagination is the instrument, the means whereby your redemption from slavery, sickness, and poverty is effected. If you refuse to assume the responsibility of the incarnation of a new and higher concept of yourself, then you reject the means, the only means whereby your redemption, that is, the attainment of your ideal, can be effected. Imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe. However, your nature is such that it is optional to you whether you remain in your present concept of yourself. Neville says, a hungry being longing for freedom, health, and security, or choose to become the instrument of your own redemption, imagining yourself as that which you want to be, and thereby satisfying your hunger and redeeming yourself. I can't do it for you. No one can do it for you. You must become the person that has the goal. You must pretend in your imagination, see it in your mind, and not only see the picture, but get into it so deeply that you feel you're there. You're in the picture looking outwards. If you had already attained your dream goal, from that place, what would you be looking at? Looking out from your goal, your wish fulfilled. Oh, be strong then and brave, pure and patient and true. The work that is yours, let no other hand do. For the strength for all need is faithfully given from the fountain within you, the kingdom of heaven. It is a heavenly thing to imagine. You create order in your mind. Write out your goal from the perspective of the wish being fulfilled. You've already attained it. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and just let the pen flow. This is your ideal life, your dream. It's here now. Take the time to describe it to me. Write it down so that anyone looking at it would understand where you're going, what you want to accomplish. And you become in the process is the ideal version of you, the one who feels worthy, loved, respected, wealthy, healthy, calm, peaceful, everything that you want to be. That's inside of you. Be in that state of being, and you become that. Let's take some time, 2 minutes to write, and I'll be back. Good morning again. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Stay in that state of being as long as you can today. Practice being the person you want to be. Being the person that already has the goal. Thank you for joining me this morning. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you back tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you.